Are you searching for the best way to invest your time during the pandemic? Clear your worries. Here is your chance to take up a foreign job opportunity to work from home and make your time productive. We present you a wide range of opportunities for you to choose from. Grab your chance to join foreign job opportunities of an extensive network of countries worldwide, including Europe, Philippines, India, and many more. Get the corporate exposure from globally recognized firms and institutes. Be a part of a global professional work experience. Sign up today and enhance your career with AIESEC.
A very good evening to all of you. I'm Onel Vanisha, and I warmly welcome all of you to Introspect 2.0, which is the virtual symposium to discover the world's best foreign internships. So what is Introspect 2.0? It is the perpetuation of Introspect Phase 1, a joint effort of both outgoing global talent and teacher functions to build awareness about the foreign internship opportunities offered by AIESEC in the University of Sri Lanka through a virtual experience. So this time, the prime objective of this virtual symposium Introspect is to complete mastery about the opportunities that best fit for you to work from home itself. So this forum's main purpose is to present the idea to you on how you can be productive even during the current pandemic situation by working from home, and also to introduce to you the semi-remote and remote foreign internships offered by AIESEC in the University of Sri Lanka that are available for you. So, before getting into the session today, let me remind you of our educational partners collaborating with us. They are Ladies College Institute of Professional Studies, St. George International Teacher Training Institute, Genius School of Professional Studies, UNEX English College, Open Arc Campus, and also Sages Campus. So, in order to kickstart our session today, we have here with us an eminent speaker panel who will be sharing their views and ideas about this entire concept about working from home, in other words, telecommuting. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Heminder Jariva, Eisenhower Fellow, Chief Operating Officer at Slimtech, and he's also the co-founder and director of Venture Frontier Lanka. Hi, Mr. Heminder, how are you doing?
Hello, hi, how are you? I'm fine.
Hi, even I'm fine too. So it's such a pleasure to have you on board our speaker panel today. So looking forward to hearing from you.
Sure.
All right. So next we have Mr. Sasanka Dias, who is the news anchor, TV personality. He's the founder of Entrance Digital, and he's also a digital media influencer. Hi, Mr. Sasanka, how are you?
Hi, Onel. I'm doing great. Thank you. Good evening to the viewers and to my fellow panelists, Heminder Jayavira and Krishan Pereira.
Right. Awesome. So also last but not least, we have Mr. Krishan Pereira, who is the co-founder and the CEO at OMAC Technologies. Hello, Mr. Krishan. Such a pleasure to have you on board our speaker panel.
Hi,
how's everything going? Hi.
Good.
All right. Superb. So today we are going to base a discussion on the topic of working from home, which is, I think, a very timely topic of discussion. So what with the COVID-19 pandemic in its effect, the global trends have been changing rapidly, and we have been made to adapt to the new normal of life. So when we take any field of industry, for an example, we see various trends emerging in response to the pandemic. And in the corporate sector, work has been shifted to home. So I'd like to hear all of your views about this concept of working from home and to share your insights about it. Now let us start with Mr. Heminder. So what do you think about working from home, the new normal? I mean, it's a very frequent catchphrase that we hear nowadays. So what is your perspective on that, Mr. Heminder?
Yeah, I think this is a concept I think we never got used to. If you really look at it, I mean, working from home has been there for some time, I think, especially in software industry and places where you can have a good bandwidth and technologically advanced maybe places. Doesn't have to be only in developed world, but I think but nobody really wants to go there because it doesn't mean that only the technical facilitation is the only thing that is required. There are so many other things. You have to be very disciplined in when you work from home, right? I mean, if you're working in office, there's a certain rules and regulations, etiquette, and all that. I mean, there's a certain organizational, things that keep you, working in that particular order. But then, if you go to say working from home, then it's your free area. I mean, there are so many other distractions. So generally, what is known before pandemic is working from home is not really suitable for Sri Lankan culture. I mean, that has been the norm, and I know a few companies who tried that, especially software companies. It never became a success, so it actually they fall back to the normal. But then, pandemic situation, I think it pushed us to do this. Not only software companies, but a lot of other companies. I know even today there are a lot of companies not entirely work from home, but majority or at least certain portion of the working force trying to work from home. But then there are a lot of I think challenges, a lot of issues. I think we can discuss those things during the discussion. So I think that's basically what I feel when you talk about working from home.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Heminder, for your views on telecommuting. So, Mr. Sasanka, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yes, Onel, I think I agree with Heminder because this was something which was as Sri Lankans, we were not ready for this. We were actually waiting for this to happen in about 3 to 5 years time, but it just happened. So it shows what type of adaptability we should have talking about future of work and going forward with the work ethics. And I believe this is not only being on Zoom or sitting in front of a computer. It is more than that. It's about taking regular breaks, thinking about your mental health, so on and so forth. So I think we could have a productive discussion on this topic, which is quite apt in the current situation. I reckon that's sufficient for an introduction. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Yes, we will surely have a very great discussion about different aspects of working from home for sure. So, Mr. Krishan, how is your organization, how is OMAC Technologies implemented working from home? And what do you think are the benefits of that to your organization?
Yeah, so essentially, we had a bit of a head start. We never knew that we would have this to our advantage, where we moved into a service space towards the end of last year, which meant us actually getting rid of all the physical attributes of an organization, a conventional organization, and moving completely onto a cloud environment where you have a clean desk policy. Simple as it is you just clean out your desk at the end of the day and you take everything back home. So we adopted that. We wanted to go lean, and this was one of the decisions that we took late last year, October to be precise. And this suddenly came into our advantage when the pandemic hit, because we had already implemented something like that. Teams used to take home their work, their laptops, everything used to be taken back home. So as a technologic company, we found it a bit easier to adapt. We did have our own fair share of problems in terms of project management and things like that. But I guess one of the unforeseen advantages that we did have was the fact that we had moved to a service office, which forced us in going lean and moving everything onto a cloud.
All right, all right. So I think we got a really good understanding on how it works at OMAC Technologies and how this concept can be implemented in reality in a very productive manner. So also, I'd like to ask Mr. Sasanka on what are the employees' responsibilities when working from home? I mean, it's quite different, right, to a physical environment. There are different aspects that you need to think of, like both all three of you correctly highlight. What do you think are the responsibilities of an employee?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. What are the employees' responsibilities when working from home? What do you think is added additionally when you work from home?
I reckon, first of all, you have to be self-motivated. Since you're working from home, you get distracted quite easily. Therefore, you have to be self-motivated. You have to have your own drive to complete your tasks. And communication is another aspect, because if you don't get your communication right, it will create chaos. And also, talking, I think this is the most important factor which I am experiencing right now, is integrity. As in, when the working from home policy is enforced in a company, it's the responsibility of each and every employee to move forward with integrity, because there is no one to overlook your work. So you have to be genuine, true to yourself, and work with a lot of integrity. So I believe these three are three of the most important factors. And also you can think of situations like being collaborative, being a team player. You need to work with your team. And nowadays, you know, sharing platforms such as WhatsApp. I think most of us are using WhatsApp to communicate, and that's easier. So, but you need to adapt and get used to these styles if you want to move forward with a work from home policy. So that's my take on this.
Right, right. I think you really gave us a very good approach to my next question that I would like to ask all of you. So, how do you think that we should measure productivity when working from home? I mean, we have different performance indicators and performance matrices that we have come up with. So, how does it differ when it comes to telecommuting? Mr. Krishan, would you like to address that question?
Sure. So, quite rightly, that is obviously one of the biggest challenges that you face when you're having teams working remotely. They're not sitting in front of you, they're not sitting on the office floor. So, as a result of that, how do you measure the productivity is a key component. So, that was where no matter how how good the technology is, that is a problem with resources that I think every single company has faced and they will face as they move forward. So a couple of the things that we put in place was obviously the task tracking systems, moving to cloud-based systems where you have Jira and having your project management tools all moved on to that. And then after that, tracking it on a daily basis. Adding to that, one of the things that we also had to do was to have a sense of flexibility because during the height of lockdown, working parents were both put inside the same house, and now they couldn't send their children to daycare. So now this became a huge problem for them. So they started taking turns. So maybe the wife takes the morning shift, and while the husband works in the morning, and then the husband takes the evening shift while the wife works in the evening. So as a result of this, we also had to be flexible. We couldn't really tell them, okay, look, you need to be online from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We need to see you. We need to have conference calls regularly. So we had to adapt and be flexible as well, understanding the situation of the individual employees. So how we looked at productivity was basically looking at tasks and how they carried out these tasks. And one thing that we noticed was the more flexibility that we gave the employees, they were happier with that flexibility, and the productivity increased. And so that really helped us understand what we needed to do. And we just continued to make sure that whatever they required, if they needed to go out of the house for, even in lockdown situations, you get a couple of hours to run out and get your groceries. So, those kind of situations, giving them that flexibility and understanding the situation actually helped get a lot of productivity back in our favor as well. So it was a two-way street, and so far it has worked out well for us.
All right, that's great to hear that adaptability has increased productivity and flexibility has also increased the productivity at your work organization. So also, Mr. Heminder, how do you measure your productivity? I mean, your employees' productivity at Venture Frontier Lanka. Is there anything else that you would like to add to Mr. Krishan's insight?
So I have to tell you now, I wear different hats. For example,
Right.
at SlimTech, I mean, I still haven't found a solution to working from home to run a research facility. So, I mean, everyone, I would say 80% of the people work in a lab, right? So it's without the lab, you can't do that in the kitchen, right? Or your home. Kitchen also a good laboratory if you really look at it, but then this is a different ball game altogether. So, but again, I have this company which I been a part of it for the last 5-6 years, so I can bring you some experience on that regard. But during pandemic, especially the first lockdown period, I remember it was 100% we couldn't go to the workplace, but everything 100% everything remote. Of course, there are a lot of challenges. I mean, we could manage all the deliverables, everything during that 3 months, the first lockdown, without any issue, because of course it's a software company. We had, I mean, we were not really ready to work from home, but then a lot of things could be done because it's all online. Everything was an online platform. People can take their laptops, work from home. Of course, some of the issues we are trying to correct, for example, I mean, no matter how as a team, work as a team, but still there are issues like, for example, for every little thing you have to call someone, right? I mean, if it is in an office environment, you can just speak to them. You can call a meeting, you can speak to your person sitting next to you, but you can't do that. I mean, even for example, if you face some issue, you have to call someone, right? So then there are issues. So those are the things we still find, and maybe somebody might not answer the phone, then you have to wait till you call back. And so those are the issues that we find right now. I mean, typical issues that anybody would face, not even in a software company. So those are the things that we trying to sort out right now. Of course, as I think Krishan mentioned, there are a lot of platforms that we are using for project management to, and of course, online meetings to all that. But still, I think what I feel is you can't run an organization 100% working from home, no matter whatever the industry that you are in. So I think that's where the innovative challenge, but I think that's the opportunity for any other company or some innovator to find more solutions in this particular area.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Heminder, for that insight on how to measure productivity when you work from home. So, Mr. Sasanka, what do you think about this continuing after the COVID-19 pandemic? Do you think of this as a sustainable solution, or will it shift to a physical environment once the pandemic is sorted out? What are your views on that?
I'm not sure whether the pandemic will be sorted out
Anytime
very
soon.
soon.
I know.
Even though there are discussions on vaccines, but still, I don't think people would move into their offices 100% initially. So I reckon working from home is the way forward. And as Hemendra said, 100% working from home would not work, irrespective of the industry that you're in. However, I believe, I think from what Hemendra said, we opened another topic for discussion where finding a way to work from home for a research facility. I think that's a huge topic to be discussed. So I think these type of challenges are coming up. So people will have to find solutions to sort out or cope up with the issues of this nature. And I reckon, uh, even though there will be a solution, maybe this will be there for about another one and a half, 2 years. So it's better that we get ready to adapt ourselves. And as we discussed initially, with all the characteristics that an employee should possess, such as integrity, communication, and all that, I think we should gear up to move forward with the working from home style. That's my take.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Krishan, is there anything that you would like to say about how sustainable this solution would be once, like Mr. Sasanka said, after maybe 2 years, once the country is properly in the normal situation, back to normal? Would this continue further?
Well, I think certain elements of it will continue. I, for one, will be encouraging this in our company, simply because we'll be giving something back to some of our employees as well. Previously, we had all these employees coming in from out of Colombo. Not everybody is based out of Colombo. So we had guys coming in from Jaffna, we had guys from Trinco, Betty, Gaul, all parts of the island, coming all flocking to Colombo, renting out space in Colombo, eating out because they don't have the facilities to be cooking and things like that. So it was a tough lifestyle for some of the guys who were working in Colombo. And one of the things that we would definitely want to continue, and I've got a lot of good feedback right now. They're able to live outside of Colombo. They're able to do their work from time to time. And then previous to the second lockdown, what we were doing was every 2 weeks, we just have a meeting where everybody comes into Colombo. So that's the only time that they have to travel. So we come, we do the planning during that process. And then from there onwards, we just move to the daily stand-ups in the morning. Again, same thing that you would do in office. We just do it virtually, just over a WhatsApp call or maybe a Zoom call, where you have your daily stand-up and take a tab about everything that's going on. So I think there's a lot of good things that also came about as a result of this in terms of efficiency. Employees are saving a lot of time by not traveling. There were people who are traveling daily from Avisavella, which maybe takes about 2.5 hours each direction. So this is a lot of time that they save. And so that productivity, I think, is something that we shouldn't let go. We should hold on to that productivity, that element of cost saving measures. The traffic has reduced as a result of all of these things. So those kind of components, I think we should hold on to. I fully agree with Hemendra that we cannot take it 100% online. We're a company that actually deals a lot with foreign parties. And I used to be constantly on a plane, every month or so, I'll be traveling and meeting people. So now this has become a challenge for us because, selling a software is not sold purely on the merit of its software. There is a lot of relationship building. And the relationship building that you can do over Zoom versus what you can do over a cup of coffee is completely different. So those are challenges that, despite how much of carbon emissions that we're saving by me not taking a flight, There's also that disadvantage of not being able to close deals as much during this pandemic. There are various reasons for that. Obviously, the financial problems as well, but at the same time, relationship building, I think, is a very key problem that we are facing when we are locked away. Even this event, if it was hosted at a venue, soon after this, there'll be a lot of networking going on, of people, getting to know each other. So this is something that has hit us very badly. And it is with networking that you build relationships, and that's how you make the next deal. I think Emin and all of them would agree. There's a lot of deals that go down after a conversation, after an event. It's not purely the event that matters, it's actually a lot of networking that happens. So those are elements that we are missing, so which we cannot replace. But elements that help our productivity, for sure we will be continuing to take those forward.
Right, right. Great. So it is always important to focus on the positives of telecommuting and, like you very correctly said, to implement those elements into your workplace. So also, organizations such as AIESEC have taken the initiative to implement remote foreign job opportunities to work from home. So in your words, what do you think the value is of a foreign internship and the benefits of engaging in online foreign job opportunities? What do you think, Mr. Heminder?
I think it all depends on what sort of work you can do from remotely. But then I think I know, as an organization, AIESEC has been in this environment, giving opportunities for not only Sri Lankans but even students from outside Sri Lanka to come and work in a different culture, different environment. So I think so the biggest gift is, I think, of course, the experiencing a culture is not about just taking a call or work from remotely, but you experience this, you immerse in that different culture and all that. So I think you will lose that, unfortunately, because of the COVID situation. But I think still you shouldn't stop. You shouldn't stop looking for things like internship. As long as if you can work from remotely, I think that wherever that is possible, I think you should look for similar opportunities. I think now most of you university students are at home. I think have a better opportunity because you don't have to go for lectures. You can, maybe when there are lectures, I think there are not 8 hours or 9 hours, I guess. So I think there is more time for you. You can do more work, or you can do part-time work while you are studying. I think if at all there are opportunities, I think you should try for them.
Right. So thank you for your views on that topic. And I think it's very important for us to utilize this free time and use it productively. So I think a virtual foreign job opportunity, especially offered by AIESEC, is the perfect opportunity for you to utilize your time. And Mr. Sasanka, do you want to add anything to that as well? What do you think are the advantages? How can a virtual internship add value to an undergraduate or a graduate? Mr. Sasanka?
I would like to relate this to what Krisha.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. You're audible.
Yeah, I would like to relate this to what Krishan said and Hemind as well. Now, talking about remote job opportunities, foreign, it's about making an impact. You can't ever compare the impact that you make in a virtual meetup to an in-person meetup. So I believe it's good for networking virtually, but when you meet in person, that impact is huge. So I reckon, depending on the capabilities of the individuals, I reckon good exposure in terms of exposure, it's great. You learn from each other, and more importantly, you blend with different cultures. You learn about their cultures, and we share information on our culture with them. The cultural exchange and knowledge sharing is more important than ever given the current context. Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Satsankar, for your ideas on that topic as well. So, Mr. Krishan, is there anything that you would like to say as the final message that you would like to give regarding, because now what we have been discussing so far is regarding the remote and semi-remote opportunities and how working from home can increase a productivity as an employee and for the organization as well. So what is the final message that you would like to give these interested graduates and undergraduates tuned in here with us today?
So I think it's actually very important that we understand that today's context has actually pushed us further along this working from home, working remotely environment. And this, I think, will continue as well. Again, taking on the software sector, we are either way an outsourced development destination. Most of the development is done for foreign countries. So we are, or we have been for years working from home. In a sense, we've been working in our home country and providing software to other countries. So I think from a software perspective, there is no problem at all, whether it be internships, whether it be working remotely for these companies. Um, it's the same thing. So it's just a slightly different location. But in a sense, all these software companies are working from our home country and providing software to a foreign country. So I think we can continue with this.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Krishan. You really have given us a lot of food for thought. And Mr. Heminder, what is the final message that you would like to give our audience?
I think the biggest opportunity we see, because I'm coming from basically from the innovation side. So on that point of view, I think this particular time frame, because I don't know whether you have heard about, there were certain things that tried out companies like Google. I know there was a term that tried about a few years ago, giving full control to employees working on their own on a project that they want to do 20% of the time or 25% of the time. And that was a to a certain extent in certain areas, they came up with more projects, more products, new products, and ideas. I think so. I would say this is for any innovative company who want their employees to be innovative. Of course, innovations comes with teamwork. I mean, definitely from teamwork, you need the teamwork. Maybe getting the teamwork is still a bit of a challenge in a situation like this. But then this particular situation, pandemic situation, has given the employees to work more free. I mean, a lot of freedom and from their normal working. I mean, I think Krishan and Sasanka both mentioned that like down in your travel time, and it reduce, for example, if somebody is working for 8 hours, this is with your travel time, it could be 10 hours or 12 hours or even more, and you are wasting a lot of time. But now you have that time with you, with your family or with your own work, and so that you can effectively use that for more to think innovatively, think in a different way. So I think from that perspective, I think everybody should take this pandemic situation as a positive thing. At least you should learn to take it as a positive thing. So I think in that way, for any company who wants to do innovative in a different way, I would say this is a golden opportunity. That's my view, final view about working from home.
All right, thank you very much for your insight. And also, Mr. Sasanka, what is your final message that you would like to give?
Yes, I would like to say, because these days your commute is just from your bedroom to the kitchen or maybe the living room. So it's important because you don't commute to office, you don't walk or even any other mode of transport. So I believe it's important that you think of your physique that makes an impact on your mental health. So make sure when you're working from home that you connect with nature always, because that will reduce the stress levels, because work from home policy, after getting into this policy or the style of work, the depression levels have increased. That's what research has said. So it's important that you connect with nature, associate with friends and family, but importantly, adhering to the health precautions. That has to be said. So, and also, it's a good opportunity for you to look back and decide on your career path where you could align or decide on a path where you have to take in terms of your passion and your skills. So this is called area of destiny analysis. There are two highways. One has passions, one has skills. So the point where these two intersect is where your career path is. So these are little things that you could focus your attention on while working from home or even studying, and decide on your career path. So enjoy what you do and try to stand out, because and be original. Everyone else is taken. So wish success to all the girls and boys, the upcoming talent of Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much for those motivational words, Mr. Sasanka. So, Mr. Heminder, Mr. Sasanka, and Mr. Krishan, thank you so much for joining us at Introspect 2.0 and sharing your valuable insights, ideas about one of the most timely topics of today. So your valuable presence has definitely graced the event, and therefore we are very grateful to your participation at Introspect today. So wishing you all the very best in all your endeavors, and have a good night. Thank you very much once again for tuning in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Heminder and Krishan, for your company.
Thank you, Sasanka. Thank you, Krishan, as well. Thank you. Thanks a lot.